Hi, everyone. It's Tracy again with the Gather community. And I am here because today we are going to feature our next amazing Gather community creator, Shannon Sundberg. I'm so excited that Shannon is a part of our community and that she's here today and we get to have this conversation because she has really cool stuff happening, a real evolution of her business going on, and I can't wait to hear more about it. So Shannon, welcome to the party. So glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about, you, who you are, where you are, and what's going on for you these days in your business.
Thank you, Tracy. I'm so happy to be here and joining the Gather community. And I am an aromatherapist and now certified ULA life coach. And this year has been a huge change for me from offering in-person, hands-on services to taking it to making aromatherapy products and offering that out. And through all of this, how I've kind of kept my own sanity and gratitude in check is that I really focused on my ULA lifestyle. And I've been living this lifestyle for the last almost 6 years. And when I discovered it, it really was helping me balance the overwhelm of everything that I had going on in my life, which was career change at the time, medical issues, and it really just helped me balance out what I'm doing and cut that overwhelm down. And all of that started bubbling up again this year. And so I got back and revisited my ULA lifestyle. And as my life was just developing and getting back into balance, I saw that so many people need this.
So good. So let me put a box around this, or a ribbon. You've got a young boy, you're married, so you've got your husband at home, you've got a business, a brick and mortar business space, you've got your own business, you've got, obviously lots of, like you mentioned, medical issues. There's all of these things happening. And then you say, I follow the ULA lifestyle and my life is transformed, right? Like that's the gist, right? So
Yes.
there's going to be a lot of people watching this who have no idea what that is. So give us a rundown of like, what is the ULA lifestyle? What does that mean?
So ULA was developed by a couple of gentlemen who we call the ULA guys. And they developed this word because they wanted this ooh la la life. That is, and so they shortened that to ULA. And it's the feeling you get when you wake up every morning and you're happy, you're growing, and you're looking forward to what that day has to offer. And you wake up like that every day. It's about being vibrant in your health, healthy in your finances, great relationships with your family and friends, and having a fun time, and also your field, your career, that it's something that inspires you every day.
Mm-hmm.
And as you work on these different areas, we're going to be better at some and not so great in others. And it's finding that balance of what fuels you and motivates you and doing that work a little bit every day to balance things out and get to where when you wake up, you're excited every day.
So you mentioned one of the words you reframed, you said your field, your business. So I know that one of the things for ULA is that there's F's, right? There's how many F's? 7 F's?
Yes, so 7
Tell us what the 7 F's are. The 7. So these are like areas of our life just to make sure we're not leaving anything out, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's hear what these 7 F's are, and maybe a little bit about like for the pandemic, because that's where we're at, it's October 2020 right now. Like, what did you find to be me? I mean, obviously you have to touch on all of them, but what was the most impactful for you in a challenging time like this to realize that you had kind of let it go away?
So the 7 F's are fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, and fun. And those 7 areas can cover, they kind of make a big wheel.
Okay.
So, and those components are the spokes that keep your life rolling. And so for me, what kind of came up with this pandemic is realizing that my field, I love aromatherapy. I love supporting people with raindrops and foot detoxes and all of that. But then it went away. And so I found that my field was really affected by the pandemic. And
it went away because of the in-person nature of the services that you were doing.
yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And so I had to pivot and find something that I was equally passionate about and still incorporates in aromatics and energy. And that is what Ula has brought for me. The area that got me through that was my family. They were supportive, my friends who I have not always been strong in the friends area. That was 5-6 years ago. That was my area that I had to focus on and learn from my actions how to be a better friend. And so I'm so grateful that I learned that, because now I had a great community of friends that were behind me, encouraging me and inspiring me to keep moving forward. So,
it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I think that in this crazy time, and because we're all kind of separated from a lot of our friends, and the way that we're connecting is with social media. And of course, there's lots of other things going on in social media, and the pluses and minuses, the benefits and what's the opposite of benefit? I don't know, the benefits and the detriments maybe is a way to put it, right? In looking at social media. And I think that tends to be a very polarizing situation where people feel like they either have their friends or there's everyone else. And because there's not a lot of really clear communication because it's so remote. So did you find that once you started taking steps in that kind of allowing friendships to flourish and for them to be what they're going to be, that like built on itself or affected other of your F's?
yes, so definitely when I feel like I've heard this, maybe it was from like my grandparents or maybe even my parents, where they've said you are who you hang out with. So the 8 out of the 10 people that you hang out with, you kind of take on some of their characteristics. And so what I found in examining like who's in that inner circle of these 8 to 10 friends, and really examining, is anyone toxic? Who's bringing me up? Who's versus bringing me down? And the realization 6 years ago is, as I was sitting there looking at this inner circle, the ULA guys were doing a presentation and they said, who is toxic in your circle? And, people are kind of, oh, yeah, thinking about it. And for me, I was like, no, all my friends are pretty, oh, wait a
Ooh.
minute. And they said, if you don't see one, then it's you. And so
Ouch.
that was a huge realization that, oh, I better go look in the mirror. And so in doing that, I had to work on relationships, figure out why some had gone away, and focus. And so what I have found is that for me, the friends has been that area that has fueled me to do things that I'm uncomfortable with.
Mm.
And that has been this last year, really what has brought things together on an even deeper level for me that I wouldn't have had 5 years ago. So while some people are, oh, I don't get to see anyone, it's all on a screen and things like that. I have found that because I'm relying more and on these friendships and that trust and um, that level has just gotten deeper over the last year because we don't have these kind of superficial interacting, really fast running around. So
Yeah.
for me, it's really helped me deepen in this area
Oh, that's
and,
such a
and
good
grow.
point. I was thinking as you were talking, I was like, how is that different? And you just hit on it, right? That a lot of the people who we consider friends, who we might see in passing, like at the kids' school or, out in business, right? Where they have an appointment and we, chit chat for a bit or whatever, or even, see each other now and then. If we are really going to be friends and be close and have a relationship more than that superficialness, we have to really make an effort at it right now. And it goes also to like the whole Zoom thing, where I feel like Zoom is a super intensifier, right? A lot of people, I think, feel like Zoom is not real. And I think it's like ultra real, right? You and I would never stare at each other in the face for half an hour talking, right? We'd be distracted and we'd be talking, oh my gosh, look at that. And we'd have mutual experiences, but we wouldn't be like this intently talking about, friendships and personal triumphs and challenges. And like, I think it's super intense. So, and a lot of people aren't comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Until you realize that it's the comfort with that intensity that helps you to or stepping into the discomfort maybe is a better way to say that it helps us grow, right? And we become
Yes.
better for it. It's not superficial, it's super intense and like extra real. So, there's also like people talking about this being the new normal. And okay, it may not be the new normal, but it is what it is, right? It's normal. It's our now normal. It's
Yes.
never going to be what it was because we can never be pre-pandemic ever again.
Yeah.
So how we engage with each other is always going to be flavored by this time in our lives until there's people, kids who come up who never experienced it, like, yeah, which will be weird. My grandkids, I guess, right? Because our kids are young. Mine are 11 and 14. Maddie's how old?
He's 7.
7, right? So, by the time he's an adult, he's basically going to forget about a lot of it, because he's 7.
Yeah.
He'll remember not going to school, but that's kind of it. And, but any kids who are 3, 4, 5 years old, like they're not going to remember really why it was so weird.
Yeah.
And that'll be weird for us to be like, oh, you don't remember? It's like people not remembering 9/11.
Yes.
Or the Loma earthquake, which just passed a few days ago, right? Like we were all talking about those kinds of unifying experiences.
Yeah.
This
These
being on
memories.
Zoom for every day for 7 months, this is a unifying experience.
Definitely. Yeah. I find that I'm much more present because I feel that it's much more obvious if you're distractive.
Right.
And so I feel that on Zoom, while I did not embrace it at first, but now I do. And I love being on Zoom because I can be focused and present, which is not something that is easy to do out in public, out at a restaurant,
Right.
things like that. So,
Yeah, I totally agree. So, okay. So I started to list off F's in my mind and I immediately
yes.
went to food, which is not one of them. So give us the list again, because I want to ask you about another one just kind of off the top.
Yes. So fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, and fun.
Okay, so I want to ask you about finance, because like
Yes.
the rest all seem to make a lot of sense, like for your physicality and your emotions, but how does finance drip into all of that? How does that become part of that circle?
So finance is, if you can believe this, 7 out of 10 people have less than $1,000 saved for an emergency. And that can be really stressful. Right now, I just had my car that is going into the shop, and that can be very stressful if you don't have an emergency fund to pay for that repair. And what happens is we get into a habit of living paycheck to paycheck.
Maybe not paying
And
attention to the ramifications of the things we're doing, random
yes,
acts of Amazon, things like that.
yes, yes. The random acts of Amazon are
It's a big factor, I would imagine, for a lot of
it
people. For
is
me.
well, and especially right now, that is our
Right.
the way we could shop for a while. But debt is prevalent right now. Credit cards, student loans, all of these things that we take on. And if our income doesn't come up to support that, it's very stressful. Emergencies, unexpected expenses, unexpected medical issues.
Right.
These raise our levels of stress. And then that from finances starts affecting your fitness. How are you feeling? Are you exercising? Are you eating properly?
Right.
It starts affecting these other areas. Maybe you can't be as focused at work because you're stressing out over here. Maybe you're getting short-tempered because of the random act of Amazon that your husband or wife just did. And so that's just a little picture of how one area can affect all these other areas. And so balancing that out, something that I love about ULA is that we share about what's called the green gap of doing a budget and seeing what money you have coming in and what money you have going out. And what is that gap? And then that green gap, hopefully
Green for
it's
money?
green.
The green is for money?
Yes.
Okay.
Green
Extra
for
money?
So hopefully you're bringing in more than you're putting out. And then that green gap, we have a formula for saying, put a percentage into investments, put a percentage towards debt, and then put a percentage towards fun.
Yeah.
And that way you're seeing things for your future, you're reducing some stress, something to look forward to, and then that immediate fun.
Well, I like that
So
triangle.
that's
great. Yeah, the triangle of fun now, safety later, and get rid of the what's hanging around, right? That negative kind of monkey on your back kind of feeling. Oh, I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
And absolutely. I know one of the things that I've heard is that, I don't know, there's some giant percentage of, arguments in marriages and the ending of marriages is financially related. And as someone who never was a budgeter, who's married to an Uber saver, right?
Mhm.
It's been a very interesting education between the two of us for him to kind of lighten up a little bit and for me to kind of go, okay, maybe I'm not paying enough attention to the bigger picture and only living in the moment. And so, because that tends to be my style. So it's been really good, but I can see how a couple who has a harder time understanding the other side or is less willing to try to understand or comprehend the other side, that could be really challenging. And of course, that kind of marital stress is going to overflow into all the other areas that you've been talking
Mhm.
about. So yeah, really good, really good. Awesome. So tell us so we've covered the ULA, and I know that, we talked about the aromatics and the different things that you're still doing from kind of the I don't want to say the old business because it's just changed, right? It's not left behind. And the energetics. So that, because that word just so attracts me to find out more about what you're doing so aromatics I love too, because it's not just because everything has an aroma. So like, tell me about, aside from the ULA stuff, the aromatics and energetics things, the way that you serve clients in other ways.
Yeah, so
Because you have a
everyone,
space, you have a wellness office where people
yes,
can come.
yes. And so I have a space in Petaluma, and
Oh, it's funny. I talked to Deb this morning, and
yes,
obviously she's in Petaluma too. And it's like, oh, it's Petaluma Day. I forgot all about that.
yes, yes. And Deb is like
Like right
not
there,
far
right?
from my
Yeah.
space. Like I'm like, she's right over there. And yeah, so I have this wellness space. I have a treatment room, and I also sublet to other holistic minded practitioners. And what I've been doing now and how I'm going to incorporate in my aromatics and energetics is every person absorbs information differently.
Mhm.
And some people, you can show them and they can do it. Some people need to do it and then they practice
Practice.
that and redo it. And some people need to feel how it is, to kind of get that memory in them
Mm-hmm.
to keep going and be better at something. And whether it's writing down the instructions after hearing them, and so everyone's different. So I love to put an aspect of the reminding about their goals and their dreams, their ULA 7 that they're working towards, and bringing in what's an aroma that they can smell to remind them.
I love it.
What is a even a visual,
Sort of
that
practice that they can embody.
that they can see, and it reminds them to um, flip that mindset from maybe complaining to having that attitude of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing something, smelling something, feeling something. So whether it's like a diffuser bracelet that they can put some essential oils on
Mm-hmm.
that reminds them what they're working towards. Energetically, this is one of my favorite areas to support people because everyone is comfortable with different types of energy, whether it is Reiki healing, whether it is raising our frequencies, and our bodies are energy, our thoughts are energy, and keeping our frequency above the wellness line really helps us physically, mentally, spiritually. And so, whether it's movement for fitness, what we're eating, what thoughts we're having, doing some prayer or meditation, all of those help raise our frequency. And
But don't forget about the people that we're around too, right? Our
yes,
community.
yes, and the energy of the people that we're around. And so all of that can come into play. So supporting my clients' journey in ULA, helping them keep their energy and frequency raised. And sometimes that can be even, hey, I'm going to show you some placements for your hands for you to do a little bit of Reiki on yourself. It can be, taking a look at that inner circle in your friends. And so really finding that comfortable learning place for each client and offering them the tools for them to be wildly successful.
Love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, I have one last question.
Yes.
Because this is Gather Community and we're talking about, ultimately you're part of our community and you're part of other communities. Obviously we met, since you're in Petaluma and I'm in Santa Cruz, we've never met in person, right? We haven't, right?
I don't think we have.
I don't think so. So, but we're connected through lots of other people. And so tell me how a community can support people's journey in moving forward with their balance within ULA, like how being a part of a larger picture can help them to remember to focus on all of their 7 F's or whichever one they're working on, or how community can be a benefit for you.
So community is really important for me, and it will be for my clients as well, because I'm a certified ULA life coach, but I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a personal trainer. I'm not a nutritionist. I am not a lot of things, but what I am is I am an amazing mentor to guide them to their balance. And when they are really struggling with something, I want them to know that there is this community of trusted, high integrity people that are available, that are an expert in finance and are an expert in fitness.
Have fun activities that they could join in on.
Yes, fun activities. Deb is a great one. She has her authentic friendships. Like, you have trouble making friends, I want you to meet Deb and chat with Deb about that. And so this community is so important, because I want people to get that expert support in whatever area they need that extra in.
Yep. So. Absolutely. And I love it. And because that is that's the bottom line with community in general, is just, we're not designed to do things on our own, and none of us can have all the answers, and none of us, have all of the resources even, right? We need to have other people to draw from that we trust and who are integrous and who are ready to, give of their expertise, so that we can then say, I don't have to be everything to everyone, but I can be a guide and I can be a connector. And by being that guide and being the connector, you now are part of that community of people that you already trust. So that enriches, is that a word? Enriches your circle, so that you have a rich circle and they have and all of those circles, those are all the ripples in the pond. That is how we're going to change the world, my friend.
Yes.
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 Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you're here. I think we're at time. So I just want to wrap up by asking if so we're going to have, like, in the notes, we'll have your website and all of that stuff, but what do you have? And this is going to come out in the middle of November. So like right before Thanksgiving-ish. But it's going to exist for a while. So so you're serving clients one-on-one in group activities. How can people find you and connect with you with something you've got going on so they can learn more?
So I'm going to be having multiple Zoom introductions to ULA. So there will be 1-hour workshops, webinars multiple times during the month.
You're really good about doing Facebook Lives and sharing tips and thoughts and stuff too that's in your Facebook group, right? That people can just be a part of.
Yes. So wellness from within, because our wellness it starts within ourselves. And then
and mind and body, all of the ins.
and radiates out.
Yep.
And so Wellness from Within is my Facebook group. And I will have monthly webinars introducing ULA. I also will be starting group coaching and have in November and December and moving forward from there, having a half-day workshop at least once a month, but once a month half-day workshop. And then I do have a one-on-one 3-week and 10-week coaching program.
Kind of specific to certain steps within the whole ULA lifestyle.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
So the 10-week program is the most intensive and comprehensive. It goes through focusing on your wheel, dreaming and creating dreams and goals, and setting the pathway in all 7 areas.
All 7 areas. Oh, that's fabulous. Yeah, that sounds great. And the 3-week, I would assume, is more of an introduction to those 7 areas, and you can kind of touch on them and people can decide how they want to move forward after that, whether that's, you know, focusing on one area that is severely lacking in their opinion, or, you know, maybe they just need that start to kind of get in thinking about all these areas. Because the thing with these 7 focal areas, people aren't thinking about all of these areas all the time.
No.
Like some of them are totally off the radar. And that's what I love about a program that has kind of this encompassed kind of view, is because, you know, so starting as a health coach, right? People always talk about what you eat, but they don't think about the rest. They don't think about community. They don't think about having support and encouragement and acknowledgement and mentorship, right?
Exactly.
And, you know, you and I both know that we're designed to be in community, and we're not supposed to be like doing everything by ourselves. We're not all lone rangers, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, awesome. I love it. So I'm so excited. I love what you're putting together. I love that the timing is going to be just right for this video to come out, for people to really get to know you. And between now and when that happens, I know, you know, this is just flourishing in its creation, right? So by the time this video is playing, this is all going to be happening and people can engage with you right away. So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. All right, Shannon, thank you so much for being here today. I'm just thrilled that you're part of our Gather community, and I can't wait to see what's next for you. I mentioned as we got on that, you know, as you are developing this whole like new vision to include ULA and share it with the world, the energy around it is so beautiful. People are just like, yeah, I love that. I want to know more about that. And so, you know, for all of you watching, if that's you, because it's been me and it's been lots of people, if that's you, take a look at what Shannon's got going on, and I highly recommend. So thank you so much for being here. Mwah.
Thank you so much, Tracy. I'm so blessed.
My pleasure. All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.